Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought that suddenly your face has changed more in the last few months than in several years? Many women describe exactly this experience during menopause. Expression lines seem deeper, skin loses some of its firmness, facial contours change, and that rested look seems to give way to a more tired appearance, even when skincare routines remain the same. It's common to believe that all this is just a natural consequence of age. But is that the whole explanation? Or is there something happening inside the body that accelerates this process precisely at this stage of life? If you enjoy learning about women's health with reliable, accessible, and scientifically based information, subscribe to our channel. Our goal is to transform complex medical research into simple explanations, helping you better understand your body and make more informed decisions about your health, quality of life, and healthy aging. Throughout my experience working with menopausal women, I've noticed a recurring question. Some patients say they've barely noticed any significant changes in their skin, while others report feeling as if aging has accelerated dramatically within a few months. This difference raises a very interesting question. If everyone ages, why do some seem to go through this phase with much more intense changes? The answer begins with a hormone that many people associate only with the menstrual cycle, but which performs much broader functions: estrogen. Several internationally recognized institutions, such as the North American Menopause Society, the National Institutes of Health, the Mayo Clinic, and Harvard Medical School, describe estrogen as one of the main regulators of women's skin health. As long as its levels remain adequate, it participates in maintaining the production of collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid, three fundamental components for keeping skin firm, elastic, and hydrated. Imagine the skin as a building. Collagen acts as the supporting structure. Elastin provides flexibility so the skin returns to its place after each movement. Hyaluronic acid helps retain water in the tissues, providing volume and hydration. For many years, estrogen contributes to the constant repair of this structure. When its levels drop significantly during menopause, this system becomes much less efficient. It is precisely at this moment that many women notice seemingly sudden changes. In reality, aging had already been happening slowly over the years, but the hormonal drop represents a true biological inflection point. Instead of a gradual process, there is an acceleration in the loss of collagen and the natural capacity for tissue regeneration. Some studies show that a significant portion of the skin's collagen can be lost in the first few years after menopause. This helps explain why many women report that their skin appears thinner, drier, and less resilient in a relatively short period of time. But there's an important detail that often goes unnoticed. Skin doesn't age in isolation. It reflects what is happening in virtually the entire organism. This is where we begin to understand why two women of the same age can have completely different appearances. The appearance of the skin depends not only on the creams used, but also on metabolism, sleep quality, diet, physical activity, cardiovascular health, and even hormonal balance. During menopause, the reduction in estrogen profoundly alters metabolism. Many women find that gaining weight has become easier and losing weight requires much more effort than before. This doesn't happen simply because of advancing age. The body undergoes significant adaptations. Basal metabolism, which represents the amount of energy the body uses at rest, tends to decrease. At the same time, there is a gradual loss of muscle mass. Because muscle tissue consumes energy continuously, its reduction causes the body to burn fewer calories throughout the day. This change promotes an increase in body fat, especially in the abdominal region. And this goes far beyond an aesthetic issue. Abdominal adipose tissue produces inflammatory substances capable of influencing various biological processes. One of these consequences is an increase in what is called low-grade chronic inflammation. When we hear the word inflammation, we usually think of an infection or an obvious injury. However, there is another type of inflammation, much more silent. It occurs at low intensity, but continuously, for months or even years. This process can accelerate the aging of tissues, including the skin. Inflammatory molecules stimulate enzymes responsible for breaking down collagen. In other words, while the production of this protein decreases due to the drop in estrogen, its degradation can increase because of persistent inflammation. The result is an imbalance that favors the appearance and deepening of wrinkles. Several daily habits can enhance this mechanism. A diet rich in ultra-processed products, excess sugar, smoking, sedentary lifestyle, excessive alcohol consumption, and sleep deprivation contribute to keeping the body in a constant inflammatory state. On the other hand, dietary patterns rich in vegetables, fruits, quality proteins, healthy fats, and regular physical activity help reduce this inflammatory response. Another important character in this story is cortisol, known as the stress hormone. Cortisol is essential for life. It plays a role in controlling blood pressure, the immune response, and energy metabolism. The problem arises when its levels remain elevated for too long due to chronic stress. Prolonged periods of emotional stress can increase collagen degradation, hinder tissue regeneration, and promote inflammatory processes. Many women reach menopause while simultaneously facing family changes, professional challenges, sleep disturbances, and concerns about their own health. All of this can keep the body in a constant state of alert. It's important to understand that stress doesn't just affect the mind. It produces measurable biological changes that directly impact skin quality. And when we talk about stress, we inevitably get to sleep. During menopause, hot flashes, night sweats, and frequent awakenings become extremely common. Many women spend years sleeping poorly without realizing that this also interferes with the rate of skin aging. A large part of cellular repair processes happens precisely during nighttime rest. While we sleep, the body intensifies tissue recovery mechanisms, reorganizes structural proteins, and regulates various hormones involved in regeneration. When sleep is repeatedly interrupted, this repair capacity decreases. There is yet another fascinating mechanism that connects metabolism and wrinkles: insulin resistance. Insulin is the hormone responsible for allowing glucose to enter cells to be used as an energy source. However, as people age, and especially during menopause, some develop resistance to the action of this hormone. This means that the body needs to produce increasingly larger amounts of insulin to perform the same function. This change promotes an increase in circulating glucose and triggers a process known as glycation. Glycation occurs when sugar molecules bind to the body's structural proteins, including collagen. Imagine that these fibers, once flexible and organized, become hardened and less functional. The result is less elastic skin, more prone to wrinkles, and with a reduced capacity for recovery. That's why diet, metabolism, and skin appearance are much more connected than most people realize. When we understand all these mechanisms, we realize that wrinkles represent only the visible part of much deeper hormonal and metabolic changes. The skin is reflecting what is happening silently throughout the body. Currently, many women, in addition to adopting lifestyle changes recommended by healthcare professionals, are also seeking information about nutritional supplements, such as the one indicated in the first link in this video's description, as a complementary strategy to support metabolism, promote weight control, and foster greater well-being during menopause. It is important to emphasize that any supplementation should be understood as a complement to general care, never replacing a balanced diet, regular physical exercise, or individualized medical follow-up. When we understand that skin aging during menopause involves much more than the simple passage of time, another question naturally arises: is there any way to slow down this process? The answer, based on the best scientific evidence, is encouraging. Although it is not possible to completely stop aging, there are several strategies capable of reducing some of its effects and preserving the health of the skin and the body for much longer. One of the most important discoveries in recent years is that body composition directly influences skin quality. Many people associate muscle mass only with physical strength or body appearance, but it performs much broader functions. Muscle tissue is considered a true metabolic organ. It produces substances called myokines, which participate in communication between different organs, help control inflammatory processes, and contribute to metabolic balance. During menopause, the reduction in estrogen accelerates the loss of muscle mass, a phenomenon known as sarcopenia. This loss occurs gradually, but can become significant over the years when there is no adequate stimulus. In addition to decreased strength and energy, The reduction in muscle mass interferes with how the body uses energy, decreases basal metabolism, and promotes the accumulation of body fat. This change can also impact the skin. A slower metabolism associated with muscle loss and increased visceral fat creates a less favorable environment for tissue regeneration. Although many people seek purely cosmetic solutions, science shows that preserving muscle mass can bring benefits that go far beyond body aesthetics. That's why institutions like the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists recommend regular strength training during and after menopause. Exercises with weights, resistance bands, or even using body weight stimulate the maintenance of muscle mass, help improve insulin sensitivity, promote bone health, increase energy expenditure, and contribute to healthier aging. Many women are surprised to discover that weightlifting can even benefit the appearance of their skin. This isn't because exercise directly eliminates wrinkles, but because it improves various biological mechanisms involved in tissue regeneration, reduces inflammatory processes, and helps preserve metabolic balance. Another factor that is often underestimated is diet. Collagen does not appear spontaneously within the body. To produce it, the body depends on an adequate supply of proteins and various nutrients that participate in this process. Among them are vitamin C, essential for the correct formation of collagen fibers, as well as minerals such as zinc and copper, which also participate in the maintenance of tissues. Vitamin D deserves special attention. Although it is primarily known for its importance to bones, it also plays a role in muscle function, the immune system, and various processes related to overall health. Since vitamin D deficiency is relatively common in postmenopausal women, medical evaluation may be part of a broader care strategy. Similarly, a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, fish, and lean proteins provides antioxidants that help reduce damage caused by free radicals, molecules naturally produced by the body, but which in excess can accelerate cellular aging. It's also worth remembering hydration. Skin depends on a good water balance to maintain some of its elasticity and barrier function. Although drinking more water won't eliminate existing wrinkles, maintaining adequate hydration contributes to the normal functioning of various tissues in the body. In recent years, another topic has begun to arouse great interest among researchers: the gut microbiota. Our gut is home to trillions of microorganisms that participate in digestion, vitamin production, immune system modulation, and the control of inflammatory processes. When an imbalance occurs in this microbiota, a phenomenon known as dysbiosis, there may be increased intestinal permeability and systemic inflammation, factors that can also affect skin health. Although much research is still ongoing in this area, we already know that a diet rich in fiber, fruits, vegetables, and minimally processed foods promotes a healthier gut microbiota, contributing to the overall balance of the body. Throughout my career, I've also noticed that many myths end up confusing patients. It's common to find promises of miracle foods, creams capable of erasing decades of aging, or supplements presented as definitive solutions. Unfortunately, scientific evidence does not support these kinds of promises. No single food, cosmetic, or supplement can completely stop the natural aging process. Skin is the result of the integrated functioning of the entire organism. Therefore, the best results usually come from a consistent combination of healthy habits maintained over time. Another frequent question is whether all the changes of menopause remain forever. Some symptoms do tend to improve over the years. Many women notice a gradual reduction in hot flashes and night sweats after some time. However, the sustained decrease in estrogen continues to influence various systems in the body. Collagen production remains low, muscle mass loss can continue without adequate stimulation, fat tends to concentrate more in the abdominal region, insulin resistance may increase, cardiovascular health requires extra attention, and bone density loss may also intensify. Furthermore, sleep disturbances, reduced energy, and cognitive difficulties may persist in some women. These changes do not mean that aging is out of control. On the contrary, they show the importance of an ongoing strategy of prevention and individualized care. Therefore, the first link in the description indicates a supplement developed to support women during this phase of life, assisting with metabolism, weight control, and overall well-being during menopause and postmenopause. Like other complementary strategies, it should be used under the guidance of a healthcare professional and integrated into a plan that includes a balanced diet, regular physical activity, and medical follow-up, without promises of specific results or reversal of aging. After analyzing all this evidence, we can finally answer the question that motivated this video. Yes, many women notice an acceleration of wrinkles during menopause, and this happens mainly because the sustained drop in estrogen reduces the production of collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid, decreases hydration and the skin's repair capacity, and triggers metabolic changes that include loss of muscle mass, reduced basal metabolism, greater accumulation of abdominal fat, increased insulin resistance, and greater low-grade chronic inflammation. These mechanisms act simultaneously, making skin aging more noticeable precisely during this period of life. However, understanding this biology also shows us that there are factors we can act upon. The best scientific evidence indicates that a diet rich in protein and minimally processed foods, controlling sugar intake, regular strength training combined with aerobic physical activity, preserving muscle mass, getting quality sleep, proper stress management, smoking cessation, daily sun protection, adequate hydration, regular medical checkups, and when indicated, individualized nutritional support can contribute to better skin health, promote metabolic balance, and foster healthier aging. Aging is a part of life, but aging with information, autonomy, and evidence-based decisions makes all the difference. The more we understand how our bodies work, the better prepared we are to care for them intelligently and realistically. If this content helped you better understand what happens during menopause, subscribe to the channel and follow the upcoming videos. Here, we will continue exploring the main topics related to women's health, healthy aging, and quality of life, always with reliable information, accessible language, and backed by the best scientific evidence. See you in the next video.